So
Hold on.
unless Helen's just the name of the actress.
Looks like
Yeah.
around page 13.
That's a character.
13. Okay. Oh.
Welcome to Murder, Love, and Comedy. We're brought to you by Hamilton Media's Hamilton Radio. Just go to hamiltonradio.net for great music, the best rock and roll from the 50s, almost to right up to now. Holiday and Christmas favorites, too. It's that time of year. Plus, don't forget podcasts and shows like Murder, Love, and Comedy. It's hamiltonradio.net. Make it a favorite, make it a go to part of your daily routine. Now to Murder, Love, and Comedy. It's again murder, love, ooh, oh my, and comedy. Yes, the story where the show is fun, funny, completely fabricated, totally fictitious, yet compelling at the same time, and just a little ridiculous too. And on Murder, Love, and Comedy, the question always is, can you solve the crime? Dun 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 dun. This episode, a man's body found murdered in a car wash.
Hi, everyone. It's me, the dumbass comedian from the show. Wow, this is going to be a crazy story. A man was found drowned in his car. That's nuts. I know this has nothing to do with the Sound South murder case, but I will be adding my comedy to the show.
Oh boy, we can wait. Actually, I was going to say we can't wait, but actually we can. At any rate, hey, it was Saturday morning, and a gas station attendant named Raul Lebron. He reported to work at a local gas station and noticed a black Mercedes Benz getting a car wash in the self service car wash facility. He became a little suspicious, however, when he saw the car was still in the car wash for about 30 minutes. Usually, it only takes less than 5 minutes for a car to go through the car wash.
You know, when I was a kid, my father would take us to the car wash. Back then, they allowed you to stay in the car as it went through the car wash. It was the coolest thing seeing all the soapy water hit our car and then seeing those big brushes cleaning our car was amazing. It was like an amusement park ride. So I would always get our car all dirty so we would return to the car wash. I would pick up a dog poop and throw it all over our car. My father actually thought there were wild animals living in our neighborhood pooping on his car. He would then drive around the neighborhood looking for these animals crapping on his car. Sometimes he took me with him. It was like going on a safari. I used to bring my water pistol with me.
And there you are, still shooting your mouth off. But anyway, so back to our story. Detective Charlie Grieco was waved down by a gas station attendant on Alps Boulevard. He pulled into the gas station, was taken to the car wash area. At the car wash, Detective Grieco saw a man inside the car that was flooded with water. The man appeared to be unconscious, so he reported to his police dispatcher that there was an emergency at the gas station. He then started checking the man's vital signs and began some CPR. After minutes of doing that, the EMTs arrived and took over the medical treatment. The EMTs started using a defibrillator to shock the man's heart, attempting to get a heartbeat. They were not successful, unfortunately. They called Detective Grieco over and informed him that the man was dead. They stated that the man died from drowning. His lungs took in water, causing him to stop breathing, of course. Basically, he drowned in his car.
I took a CPR course at work. They have this woman's body with just a head and a chest called Debbie. I would practice CPR on her all the time. Then one day she was gone. My boss told me she broke and they sent her back to the factory. I still think about her and even once drove to the factory. I miss her. We were pretty close.
You need, yeah, I don't know what you need. Never mind. Anyway, Detective Charlie Grieco. At this point, he begins examining the crime scene, the area, in the car wash. He begins questioning the gas station attendant, Raul Lebrun, about what he saw.
Raul, Detective Greco here. I need to know everything that you saw. I understand you're the gas station attendant and the self-service car washer operator.
See, I do more jobs. I'm usually refilling the soap containers, making sure that the air blows are facing the cars. Sometimes they move out of place and the cars come my way.
What a shame. Raul, por favor. It seems like this man was murdered.
See, I try my best. At first, I go to the car wash truck, I pipe job into it, stop it from moving back and forth. Okay, so these are like a little dance, this is why the car never came out the car wash. The car was stuck directly underneath the high-pressure water canyons.
Oh my God, Raul, look. The car's roof is completely open, the sunroof. This is why the car got filled up with water and became like a pool inside. How long do you think it took the water to fill this car?
It probably took like 5 minutes. 5 minutes. These high pressure water springs pop out like 50 gallons of water per minute. It's like my mama's quinceañera, They used to splash the dirt the soap off of the cars.
Wow, what a way to go. Drowned in your own car. Raul, please explain to me how this can happen. How would the pipe get stuck in the car wash tracks, stopping the car conveniently under those high-pressure water cannons? It seems to me someone put that pipe there to stop the vehicle.
See, someone had to put the pipe there to stop the car from moving forward, my friend. When I walked over to the car wash garage, I saw the car was stopped directly under those high pressure, como se dice, agua sprays. I yelled out to the driver, but no one. I said, Oye, agua. Then I turned to the red emergency button, boom, 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 on the front wall. They shut the car wash off. I kept yelling out for the driver, Oye, water, agua. But still, no one responded back.
Well, did you approach the car to see if anyone was inside?
See, I walked up to the car, saw water coming out the car, shut doors. As I got closer, I realized that the car was totally filled. He was swimming. He was like a little fish. Okay, Finding Nemo. I grabbed the driver's side door handle. I pulled it open. The water came rushing out. Right? I saw that there was a man's body still in the driver's seat with the seatbelt on. He was still driving. Beep, beep. Still in the water. His head was resting against the car's steering wheel. And that's why I ran. I flat through down, Papa.
Well, you're lucky I saw you, because the donut shop across the street was really pulling my attention. I'll need to see the gas station surveillance footage. I have to view the recordings later.
I called the lady. I tell you what happened. He has access to the surveillance video camera. I hope they catch the person who murdered this poor man. Jesus Cristo.
Gracias.
What a great idea. We had an above ground swimming pool. It would take weeks to fill up. We had the skinny hose that couldn't fill up a water balloon. Hey, I can see people filling their cars up with water. It'd be like turning your car into a driving jacuzzi.
I've got nothing except for the detective then started examining the murdered man's body. He started looking for any signs of cuts or bruises, foul play. He also looked at the contents inside the car.
I noticed that the man was still strapped into the car's seatbelt. The car looked clean inside, except for 2 coffee cups and a box of donuts, which was very intriguing. I also saw there was only 10 donuts left in the box. I looked under the car seat and discovered a little plastic bag. The bag was labeled with the name ketamine on it. I knew instantly what this was. This is a club drug that also goes under the name Special K. It comes in different forms, like pills and liquids. I reached into the man's suit pocket and pulled out his wallet, which was filled with cash, and luckily his ID was in it.
You like donuts? Not me. They're not the same. The other day I bought a jelly donut from this donut store, and I swear there was no jelly in it. Where's the jelly? Where's the jelly? I think the donut store manager is on drugs and eats all the jelly because there's never any in my donut. Now, this guy's got drugged. For sure he got drugged. I think I got drugged when I got married. because I remember nothing. All I know, I woke up the next morning with a ring around my finger. I looked at my girlfriend and said, "What's this?" She said, "Girlfriend, I'm your wife." And then she gave me an empty jelly donut for breakfast.
To go along with your empty head sometimes, maybe? I don't know. Hey, anyway, the police ran a background check on the man's ID, and he was identified as Mr. Jeffrey Burns. The detective, he discovered no cuts or bruises or foul play had looked on the physical part of his man's body, of the man's body, I should say. He turned out to be a local dentist in town. His dentist's office is located not too far from the gas station. His wife, Tracy Burns, that's who she is. They live in the northern part of town. Tracy is a real estate agent for Dream Homes Realty.
Of all people, a dentist? Well, anyone could have murdered this guy. I mean, dentists aren't the most popular people. I have a friend who's a dentist. Whenever we hang out, he always tries looking in your mouth. Then he starts screaming at you for not flossing. I'm just saying, dentists are wackos.
Takes one to know one. Anyway, Detective Charlie then questions Tracy Burns about her husband Jeffrey's death.
Mrs. Burns, I'm so sorry for your loss, but I do need to ask you a few questions about your relationship with your husband. I understand that you two are in the middle of a divorce. Can you tell me why? And is it an amicable divorce or bitter divorce? I understand you two have been seen arguing at his dentist office.
Yes, I'll tell you, I'm tired of getting cheated on. Jeffrey is a straight-up womanizer. He's not happy with a loving wife and family. You know, we have 4 children. I've caught him with other girls many times, and at this point, he doesn't even try to hide it. I've been putting up with this for years, but not anymore. We are getting a divorce, and the kids are in grade school now, and it's just not good for them. Always seeing me crying.
How did Jeffrey feel about the divorce? Was this a mutual thing? Did you serve him the papers out of the blue? Or did he know it was coming?
Oh, for goodness sakes, he was mad as hell. I couldn't understand why. He called me crazy and accused me of being jealous and making all this stuff up. That's why I hired a detective who followed him around for months. When I showed him all the pictures of him with these girls, he flipped out, got a lawyer, and said, I'm not getting a penny. Then he started making me and our kids' lives miserable. He started yelling at the kids and stopped being a father. He refused to pay their school tuition. So I had to take them out of private school and put them into a nasty public school with all kinds of ne'er-do-wells and bad kids. Jesus. He even canceled our family vacation. The kids were so disappointed about not going on the cruise.
What did Jeffrey mean when he said you weren't going to get a penny from the divorce? Because my wife took me to the cleaners when we got divorced, and I'm still paying her alimony.
Well, unfortunately, Jeffrey had me sign a prenup before we got married. He inherited his huge dental practice from his dad before we got married. It's worth millions. So, since he got served with divorce papers, he totally cut us off. He stopped paying all our bills, and we're only surviving on my real estate commission checks and credit cards.
All of the gas station, well, not the attendants, but the surveillance video cameras actually were viewed by Detective Charlie Grieco. After viewing these surveillance video cameras, he tells the gas station owner what the videos may have revealed.
The video footage shows Mr. Jeffrey Burns left the donut shop drive-thru located directly across the street and pulled into the gas station. He then pulls up to the free air machine, gets out of his car, looks at his right driver's side tire, and kicks it. As he walks up to the air machine, a man approaches his car. They start conversating, and he hands the man the air hose. The man then fills up all of his tires. He then puts his hand out, expecting a tip. Jeffrey hands the man some change. The man seems mad and throws it at him. He then throws the air hose at him as well, and walks away, giving him the finger.
I mean, this tire air pressure is frustrating. Whenever it gets cold outside, my air pressure gauge goes on telling me my tires are low on air. Who keeps stealing all my air? Just once, I'd like to catch this thief. Do you know why these air machines are free? Because it's a lot of work putting air in your car tires. All the gas attendants notice. That's why you see them laughing whenever someone pulls up to the air machine. I have OCD, so it takes me hours to get that air needle gauge to read 35 pounds. I just keep putting air in my tires, then taking it out. It drives me crazy.
The surveillance footage also shows another car that pulls into the gas station and parks next to Mr. Burns' car. A woman gets out of the car and gets into his. They seem to be talking for more than half an hour. Then they both get out of the car, holding coffee cups, and continue talking while standing by the vehicles. Jeffrey then reaches into his car, takes 2 donuts out, and they both start eating and continue talking. The woman then proceeds to throw her coffee all over him and runs to her car. She gets in and drives off.
Wow, she didn't throw the donut at him, did she? You know she wasn't going to waste a good donut. My wife once threw a frozen chicken at me. We asked people to come over for a barbecue. When they came over, I asked my wife to get the chicken. She asked me where it was. I said in the freezer. She said, you can't put frozen chicken on the barbecue grill. I said, yes, I can. Just give it to me. So she then threw it at my head. To this day, I can't eat chicken wings. I keep thinking of that frozen chicken flying towards my head.
Upon further inspection, I also noticed from the surveillance footage, as the woman's car pulled out of the gas station, another car pulled away from the gas pumps and followed her. I find it suspicious because the driver didn't get gas, and the person inside the car seemed to be looking at the woman with binoculars.
Yes, we got a stalker. These days, people are so nosy. Whenever I go food shopping, I know security keeps following me around the store. Ever since that grape incident, I went to the 10 items or less express lane to be checked out, and then the cashier yelled at me and told me to get out of the line. She said this line is for 10 items or less. I yelled out, I'm buying a bag of grapes.
Additionally, I was able to identify all of the people in the surveillance footage. I identified the person's car who was looking at them with binoculars by catching the car's license plate number. I identified the man filling Mr. Burns' car tires with air and the woman drinking coffee with him by facial recognition.
This facial recognition is crazy technology. Me and the wife came off a cruise ship and were walking toward these security cameras. Her picture popped up with her name underneath. My picture popped up with a big red alert mark. Security then gave me a bill and said my face broke their camera.
You need to not go near the mirror, by the way, just trying to help you out.
I keep cracking them.
I know, it's all over town. At any rate, the city coroner's office revealed that the blood test of the murder victim, Jeffrey Burns, showed traces of the drug ketamine in it. Go figure.
I believe he was drugged with this drug called ketamine. I assure you, the murderer then drove his car into the car wash, put him in the driver's seat and belted him in, then opened the sunroof, turned on the car wash, and jammed up the track with the metal pipe.
Can you believe this stuff? That drug could have been put in his coffee or donut. This is why I never send my food back to the cook who messes it up. I once ordered a well-done steak, and they gave me a rare one. So I sent it back to be cooked more. They brought it back to me covered with hair. I thought it was wearing a wig.
Jeez, that's nasty. That's horrible. Well, because of the trace of ketamine in Mr. Burns' blood, the police are convinced that this was a murder. So the detective pulls in the the four suspects for questioning. The first suspect questioned by Detective Grieco was Bill Miller, the man who filled Jeffrey Burns' car tires with air.
Hello, Mr. Miller. Detective Greco here. Can you tell me where you're currently residing?
Well, I'm currently homeless, living in a state shelter facility by St. Michael's Church. I gather cans and plastic bottles all day and sell them for money. I also clean restaurants' front windows for their leftover food to eat.
So you're living at the Parker Community Shelter, correct?
Yes, there's always a clean bed and hot soup there, but I have to check in by 7 p.m. or else all the beds are taken. There are only so many beds, you know.
So where do you sleep if all the beds are filled?
Well, that's when being homeless sucks. Any empty alleyway then becomes my bedroom, pretty much. Sometimes I sleep in the car wash bathroom. I lock the door, so at least it's safer than an alleyway. This way, the dinosaurs can't hurt me. There's a T-Rex out there that keeps chasing me.
Well, the surveillance footage shows you giving Mr. Burns, the murder victim, the middle finger. Were you angry with him?
Yes, mad as hell. I filled all his car tires with air, and he gave me 60 cents. Took advantage of me. So I threw the change at him and left. I wanted to come back later to pick it up, but that T-Rex, man, I'll tell you, he was right there waiting for me. Hope the dinosaur ate him.
Me too.
Well, then, how about that? The second suspect questioned by Detective Grieco was the woman who got in Mr. Jeffrey Burns' car and threw the cup of coffee at him ultimately. She was identified as Helen Turner, Dr. Burns' dental assistant.
Mrs. Turner, I saw you in the surveillance footage throwing coffee on Mr. Burns, the victim in this case. Can you tell me why you did this?
Yes, I did throw coffee at him. I've been working for Jeffrey for the past few years. I just got divorced from 10-year marriage with that man. My ex-husband is Larry, who owns the local car dealership. I met Jeffrey when he came to the car dealership and bought a car for my husband. I was unemployed at the time, and he offered me a job at the dentist's office. We worked very closely together for years and fell in love.
But aren't you two both married with families? It didn't bother you in any way that he had a wife and kids?
We both have families. That's why I left my husband Larry for him. I didn't want to hurt anybody. I thought we had a future together and could start a new family. Until he broke up with me that morning. That's when I realized I was just being used. So I threw my coffee all over him. That's when he fired me. So I told him to get about my life.
You go, girl. But did he tell you
Word.
why he broke up with you? I understand he's a bit of a womanizer, and his wife was divorcing him because he constantly cheated on her.
I knew all that. My husband even told me about Jeffrey's cheating reputation. Everyone warned me about him and said he was just going to use me for hanky-panky. I just wouldn't listen. But that day I asked him why he was breaking up with me, and he said he couldn't financially afford leaving his wife. He would lose everything. Her lawyer found a way to go after his dentist practice that he inherited from his dad. I was so mad at him. He ruined my life and valued that sexual practice more than me.
To the third suspect now, Jeffrey Burns' wife, Tracy Burns. These two have been in the process of a bitter divorce.
Tracy, we spoke earlier. I did see you, however, in the surveillance footage spying on your husband and following Helen Turner's car as she pulled out of the gas station.
Yes, I followed my husband, Larry, around everywhere and spied on him. Even purchased binoculars to see him. I know where he goes because I even put a tracking device in his car that I bought from a spy store. Oh, Jesus. I just couldn't believe he was cheating on me with Helen Turner, his dental assistant. I followed her for a while and wanted to scream at her, but instead I went back to the car wash to tell my husband I was getting a divorce and to speak to the manager.
Why were you stalking him?
It's obvious because I knew he was cheating on me. I just needed to catch him myself. I wanted evidence to divorce him and take him for everything he has.
Were you aware of his affair with Mrs. Turner?
Well, honestly, I was shocked to see her meeting him at the car wash. It was so upsetting that she is his dental assistant and my friend. It hurt me to see the two together. That's why I followed her car. I couldn't believe it. I was there for her throughout her divorce. We're friends. Seeing them together was crazy. I hate him.
I need a minute. Okay, I'm fine. That's just upsetting. The fourth suspect was Helen Turner's ex-husband, Larry Turner.
Mr. Larry Turner. I see you got divorced from your wife, Helen. I also understand that she was the one who wanted the divorce.
Yeah, the divorce was her decision. I own a very successful Mercedes-Benz car dealership. The day that wife stealer, Jeffrey Burns, came into my dealership to buy a car was the worst day of my life. With all the money he has, he begged me for a good price on a car. So I sold him a car, almost at my cost. I just didn't know my wife was included in the price.
What do you mean? Was your wife part of the deal?
Well, he hired my wife to work in his dentist office, then started having an affair with her. I have car sales girls working here. Do you see me having sexual affairs with them? This man is a home wrecker and a wife stealer.
Well, you are aware that it takes two to tango, correct? I mean, your wife cheated on you with him.
Well, how could I compete with him? I was a grease monkey mechanic for years. I just got lucky and inherited money, enough to buy this car dealership. My wife is a college girl, so she's always embarrassed by me. Look at my rough hands. Everyone knows Jeffrey Burns is a womanizer. He cheats on his poor wife, Tracy, all the time. Can you believe it? My wife left me for him. Who knows what he was telling her? But one day, he will get what's coming to him. Let's just say he messed with the wrong husband. Like they say, every dog has its day, and one day I will get my revenge.
Well, this murder case is still unsolved, I understand. No one yet has been charged with the murder. Who do you think murdered the dentist? You know, Dr. Jeffrey Burns, the guy in the car, in the water, drowned. Was it Raul Lebron, the gas station attendant? Was it Bill Miller, the homeless fellow? Was it Tracy Burns, Dr. Burns' soon-to-be ex-wife? Was it Helen Turner, who was having an affair with Dr. Jeffrey Burns and divorced her husband Larry to be with him? Or was it Helen's ex-husband Larry Turner? Maybe he wanted revenge against Jeffrey for stealing his wife away.
Well, this is a crazy murder. First, let's talk about his wife, Tracy Burns. She suspected her husband was cheating. She was spying on him. She even used a tracking device she brought from a spy store. She must have been upset and angry when she saw him meeting up with his dental assistant, Helen Turner. Maybe that's when she got so angry and lost it. She could have confronted her husband and while talking, slipped the knockout drug into his coffee, then tried to hide his body in the car wash. Maybe she didn't mean to murder him, but just wanted to wet his ass and ruin his car. That's why she opened the sunroof to let the water in.
That really doesn't make a whole lot of sense. How can a woman just lose it and go crazy like that? Well, now wait, hold on.
Well, go ahead, ask my wife. She would have taken Jeffrey out with a frozen chicken. Now, Helen Turner, who's Jeffrey's dental assistant, well, she got divorced from her husband, Larry, and threw her marriage away just to be with this guy. And then Jeffrey breaks up with her at the gas station and fires her. Maybe that's when she used the needle to drug him. A dental office has drugs and needles to knock patients out, you know. She could have lost it and shot him with that needle filled with that drug. And once she drugged him, she put him in his car and drove the car into the car wash. Or she could have gotten mad at him for giving her jelly donut without jelly in it. Who knows?
Oh,
I know that
boy.
drives me crazy.
Can we let the jelly donut situation go? Well, okay. It seems this is an unsolved murder case. You're driving me crazy with this. I got to tell you, man, this murder has nothing to do, once again, with the jelly donuts.
Now, let's talk about this homeless man, Bill Miller. Let's just say while he's putting air in Jeffrey's car tires, he farted. Maybe he had gas from all the leftover food the restaurants gave him to eat. Jeffrey passes out because of that smelly fart, and Bill puts him in his car, then drives the car into the car wash to protect Jeffrey from the T-Rex dinosaur. But instead, the car gets flooded and drowns Jeffrey.
Okay, so that's who you think murdered Jeffrey Burns? Bill the farter? What?
I'm just saying, what could have happened? Now that car dealer Larry Turner also has a great motive for killing him. Jeffrey stole his wife. Can you imagine buying a car and getting a hot wife with it? This guy knows how to negotiate. When I bought a new car, they took everything from me. I walked out of that car dealership in my underwear. They took all my money and my clothes, but they left me my underwear because they had a huge skid mark on them. I had Mexican food for lunch. But he didn't do it. He wouldn't ruin a car by flooding it with water. That would cause the resale value to go down.
Why do you think like that? Like you know anything about a car? Last week I saw that you were still riding your mom's bike to work.
Well, at least I'm getting exercise.
Uh,
So here's who I think murdered Jeffrey Barnes. It was the gas attendant, Raul Labron, because he got spooked when he saw Tracy Barnes looking at the gas station with those binoculars. He thought they were coming after him for not having a green card. Maybe he has legal issues. Who knows? He could have thought Jeffrey was an undercover law enforcement agent and Helen Turner was his partner. After all, they were drinking coffee and eating donuts. That's like the biggest clue of being a cop. Once Helen drove her car out of the gas station, Raul panicked and drugged Jeffrey Burns with some of the leftover date drug he uses at dance clubs. Then he drove the car into the car wash to hide it. Later, when he went to check on the car in the car wash, he saw that the man drowned in the car. And that's when he flagged down a passing cop car, pretending like he didn't do anything. There you go.
okay, so basically, you pretty much have no idea what happened. Check you out again talking all this nonsense. It's true. You're just a dumbass.
Who you calling a dumbass?
This episode, Man Drowns in the Car Wash, has come to you from the MLC and Double H studios with talent spanning the globe to bring you a constant variety of top characters. On this show, you heard Joel Emile. He's the writer of the show and also plays Joel the dumbass comedian all the time, telling that crazy story like he does. Ryan Evans played Detective Charlie Grieco, and I think he played Tracy Burns as well. Yes, he did. Thank you, Brian. James Malcolm played Bill Miller. Ian, he played Helen Turner. Oh, my. John Martin played Larry Turner. And big thanks to Ian as well for playing Raul Lebron. Okay. Also, huge thanks to our friend Gino DiPiero of Hamilton Radio. He's our show producer and engineer. And for me, I'm your host and your narrator, John Thielon. Yeah. That's our show for tonight. We hope you've enjoyed it. Stay tuned. Come back for more shows, more fun, and more murder. And remember, the question always is, can you solve the crime? Dun, 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 dun. Listen to Murder, Love, and Comedy on HamiltonRadio.net. And speaking of HamiltonRadio.net, stick around. Stick around because it's Chance's Chat coming up next at 8:30 Eastern's topical talk with topics from all around the world, around the country, around town, and fun musical moments too. Chance's Chat tonight, 8:30 Eastern on HamiltonRadio.net. Murder, Love, and Comedy. You can hear that on HamiltonRadio.net. Once again, on YouTube, Facebook, iHeartRadio, Live 365, Roku, Google, and Alexa. So until next time, keep laughing, keep loving, and keep yourselves alive, for crying out loud. It's Murder, Love, and Comedy. You'll love it.